Hey ladies and gents, and welcome back. Today we have a pair of Carolina logger boots. Now, I don't believe we've ever done Carolina boots before, so this will be the first time, I believe, that you guys will see us resole a pair of that brand.
All right, so this guy it's all rubber. It looks like it's all synthetic all the way through, and he wants to keep the same basic design, just go with a Vibram, a little bit more tread, or at least what's not worn off on him. And he wants to keep the overall design, but we're gonna have to replace him from the sole all the way up to the welt. So,
and I'm kind of anxious to get in and kind of see how well Carolina Boots makes their boots. This is just the logger boot. They obviously have a lot of different styles. But as you guys know, as we're taking them apart, kind of like to see what's on the inside.
This is the first logger that we've actually come in here from Carolina Boots. So yeah, let's get out to the shop and get started.
All right guys, these things are really dirty. I don't like to start repairing shoes or anything when I have dirt all over them. The glue doesn't adhere well and a lot of other things. So what we're gonna do is get rid of all these old laces and let's get these into the sink, wash these up a bit, and then we'll continue on. Scrub a dub dub. Got my boots in the tub.
So I believe we've never done a review or a video over Carolina boots. So anxious to get into these and give y'all my perspective while we redo them. So right off the bat, see it looks like they actually have stitches at the very tip of the toe. And then just behind it, there are screws that go down into the midsole. So, and there actually are a few screws back here at the joints. So, pretty tough construction right off the bat. All right, straight off the bat, I have taken those screws out and cut the threads and pulled the sole back. Here's the midsole right here, and as you can see, the outsole, midsole, and the welt are all plastics and rubber synthetic. And this is a lot of times what you'll see when you adhere these two together during the process. It almost melts together in order to get a good bond. And this is kind of an example of why I don't like to use synthetic as much as possible. I like to use glue on fibrous, natural. But we can cut this and it'll open back up into that cavity just behind it, but it almost does look like it is melted together. Since we are going to be replacing all three of these layers, I don't have to be as careful about hitting the welt. Shank. All right, so inside it is a synthetic insole. Got a couple layers of this. It's just, I don't know what type of foam this is. It doesn't have a whole lot of padding on the inside. And I figured, well, it must have a really soft insert on the inside, and not really. I mean, this is an old used boot, so it may have collapsed a little bit, but it wasn't a whole lot. What I do give it is that the yimming here is actually stitched on. So that's actually a really good thing, because sometimes the glue will actually, over time, especially on a boot that's been worn hard, or a shoe that's been worn hard, will actually come undone. And it's, you know, sometimes it's hard to get the glue to really stick back, but this is stitched on. So I give it good credit for that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish taking off this welt. And while I do, Trent's gonna tell you about today's video sponsor, which I think a lot of you guys will be able to take advantage of out there, Keeps.
Okay guys, I know what you're thinking. You're probably looking at me right now like, Trent, why in the world are you talking about Keeps? You have your hair. Okay, I know, I get it. Heath and I do have a lot of hair. But we are always here to help you guys out in any way possible. So we realize a lot of you guys out there are probably experiencing some sort of hair loss. And believe it or not, a lot of my best friends, a lot of my family members have been losing hair for years. I know a couple of buddies of mine that started balding in their 20s. So it's something that can come on even at a young age. And believe it or not, did you realize that 2 out of every 3 men will experience some sort of baldness by the age of 35? Guys, the best time to start treating hair loss is now, while you still have hair. With Keeps, a licensed doctor will review your information online, and then they will recommend the right hair loss treatment plan for you. Then your treatment is shipped directly to your door every 3 months. Also, they try to keep it affordable, which is always nice. Keeps does this by offering generic versions of the FDA-approved medications for hair loss. Now, Keeps treatments generally take between 4 to 6 months to start seeing results, so it's important to act fast. Guys, the sooner you start using Keeps, the more hair you can save. Another great thing about Keeps is they have more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors, and that's why hundreds of thousands of men trust Keeps for their hair loss prevention. Guys, if you're ready to take action and prevent further hair loss, go to keeps.com/Trent. Or check on the link down below in the description box for a special discount on Keeps treatments. Guys, again, that is keeps.com/Trent.
You see where the mark was, it's off kilter. It's not like it mattered. That would drive me nuts if I put it where it wasn't straight. Okay, so we are going to replace that thin foam stuff inside with a little bit better crepe material. And we've gotten emails before that people say, hey, I saw that y'all, had, you cut up in a boot and it had like a foam inside. And so I definitely don't want to get that. I want to go replace it with cork. And there's nothing wrong with foam. Cork is traditional, but cork isn't always going to give you the padding that you want with like a foam or a pour-on or something like that. So, and also if you want to swap it on your next go around, you don't have to scratch off a boot because it's got, something on the inside. If you want to resole it your next time around, just have it swapped out. But materials like this, synthetic materials on the inside to fill in the cavity, they definitely have their place. So it's not a one-size-fits-all type of construction. Before I put these on the press, side project I'm working on. I need a pair of nice dress black shoes. So I've begun the process of carving the insole, and I got all these out, but you'll have some pictures coming soon. All right, so remember when we took that sole off, it was stitched at the toe. Well, my stitcher can't go through all these layers this thick, so I'm gonna hand stitch it to get it back to what it was originally had on the front, which was the stitches around the toe all the way through the sole.
Okay guys, last thing we're going to do, obviously these boots are super dehydrated, and you can feel that in the leather. So we're going to put some leather conditioner on these boots, really let that moisture get in there and saturate the leather. And then we're going to put on some new leather laces of ours, and then that should just about wrap it up. And then we'll show you the final product of the boots. Okay, so we've wrapped up this pair of Carolina boots, but hey, like always, before we show you the final product, just a couple of quick reminders. One, we do have our early Black Friday going on this weekend. So if you're in need of any shoe products or any early Christmas presents for anybody, definitely check out our website, potterandsons.com. We do have some pretty good discounts going on there right now. Also guys, if you're not following us on Instagram, please make sure you head over there as well and start following us. We post a lot of other pictures of the shoes and boots that we're restoring throughout the week on there.
And announcements.
And announcements, yeah. So if you want to keep on top of what's going on around here and what's coming your way, definitely follow us on Instagram. All right, my man, what did we do?
Okay, so as we mentioned up front, this was all synthetic. The welt was hard as a rock. I mean, it was a hard plastic. Midsole synthetic rubber. Then obviously the outsole was going to be rubber on a work boot like this. We had to replace it all. Mm-hmm. So we went with another walled welt or storm welt and leather. and then we did a little bit thicker. If you notice that midsole that we put on, it was a little bit thicker than normally like on a dress shoe, and that was just something that we discussed with the customer. He wanted a little bit thicker, but he didn't want like a hard sole midsole. So wanted a full double sole. So that was all leather, and then we topped it off with a Vibram Montagna, and then gave him that shaped heel classic to a logger, but we did it in leather, and turned out pretty good. Always when I get the logger and get to really shape those things, that's pretty cool. I like that look.
And it's always nice too when we get to use a fresh welt, because the stitches always just come out looking better. You're going to have a lot of welt left for upcoming shoe repairs or boot repairs, so that's always nice. Also, we really want to make sure that sole is on there. It's ready to go for whenever, whatever work he's doing. So like the original sole, put some screws in. We also, Heath, as you saw in the video, double stitched up there on the toe area. Actually hand stitched portion of it.
I had to. My machine won't go through that. That's thick.
And it was the thread was so close together. Even if you tried doing that with a machine, you really risk the stitches going on top of each other. So Heath did it by hand. I think they look great. We also finished them up with some conditioner. Just really wanted to hydrate those boots because, again, guys, the soles are important, but if you're not keeping the leather uppers hydrated, that's what's going to cause the boots start crumbling and just really start cracking on you. And at that point, there's not much you can do. So always make sure you're taking care of your leather uppers.
And you saw in the before pics, those laces were shot. We couldn't even pull the laces out. They were fraying so much. So we had to get rid of those. We topped them off with some of our Potter & Sons leather laces, and it just makes them pop. I think it looks good.
Yeah.
So.
All right, guys, like always, if you really enjoyed this video, we would really, really appreciate a thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it, and also share this video. Tell others about the channel. Hopefully we can help them out as well. Okay, guys, until next time, y'all have a good one.